Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. It's your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Morning Light. It's a 5 by 10. I finished it the other day. I had this drawing portion you're seeing done now, done for about a month or so, and well, let's tell you what I'm up to. So we're painting on hardboard because I know a lot of you are new. Always new, which is great. Painting on hardboard, it's got two coats of transparent gesso. That's why it looks like there's nothing on there, but you do have to put some sort of buffer coat. We're doing oil paint here. And we're painting with burnt umber at the moment. And burnt umber is a good color for doing your drawing slash underpainting because it dries quick. And so I could do the oil painting the next day, or any time after that. But another color I like to do underpaintings with is black. But the case with black is I either need to jump in right then and there and move directly to the color stages, or I have to let it get thoroughly dry, and by thoroughly dry I mean a week and a half. Otherwise I'll go in and try and put some new paint on top. It'll actually move the black. It's really a mess, yeah. But I've settled into burnt umber, or sometimes I use that Van Dyke brown too, because I got a tube of it. Why not? But even there, that dries a little slower than the burnt umber. Another option is, say, raw umber, but in the case of raw umber, I'd probably bolster it with some yellow ochre. So let's talk about the scene. It's not that typical of a scene for me. Usually I don't like scenes of hills and stuff, but these were kind of this misty hills. Let me tell you the tale. I'm watching a video, and it's about some, current events or whatever, and you know how a lot of people use the stock footage, of just miscellaneous stuff as they're talking these days. Anyway, we had this kind of zoom in over this. To me, it looks like England, or I don't know. It could be anywhere, really. It's definitely like hills with fog and these trees. It's obviously morning. And I thought, oh, I really like that. So I paused the video and I took a little screenshot of it. Now, as it stood, that scene was not usable because it was cropping things very weird. But as inspiration for painting, it was fine, and that's what I did. And so the real mission of this painting, and the thing that interested me, was I have a sky that starts with a purple at the top, but ends up getting quite warm with yellows and oranges and things. But the hills themselves are more cool greens, pastel, smoky colors. And then we get into some oranges back in the trees. So it's kind of a clever little color thing going on. And I think it turned out pretty well. You would have seen the thumbnail before you clicked on the video. But, let me know what you think. I really like comments, by the way. So if you're one of these people that likes to leave a comment when you've enjoyed a video, yeah, you could just do that. Say, hey, Mike, appreciate the video. Thanks. It's all good. I'm just telling you, I like it. That's one way you can support me. Another way you can support me is like this painting session is in what we call the members area. And the version there is live. It took about 2.5 hours or so. It's distinguished in two ways from this video. One, it's not sped up. It's real time. Second, you get a peek at my painting reference. And thirdly, and maybe most importantly, I take you through my initial color mixing session, which really contains my philosophy of color mixing. And if you're hungry for information about color and stuff, you'll get a big dose of it in every video. Exactly the thing you probably wanted when you clicked on this. And let's see if I can help you out, even if you don't want to commit to being a member. So I already did give you some pointers, although it may not have seemed like it when I told you that the color scheme went from purple to orange to yellow to cool smoky greens and grays, and then back into more subdued oranges with tiny bits of yellow. So that's called parameters. I set up some parameters and I'm functioning within those. What was excluded? Blue, right? No blue. I did use a little blue in some of the mixes, I recall that, but it's very subtle. I could have got away without it. Instead of blue, a lot of cases, for blue like that bit I'm doing now, I might have a tiny bit of blue in it, but the gray that I make and that I have on my palette is, it's lamp black mixed with white. It's a cool bluish looking gray, so I use that a lot of times instead of blue. There's another tip for you. You don't always have to use blue. As a matter of fact, if you can, the more colors you can exclude from your theme, your color theme, the more harmony that you'll have. And so another way to get harmony, let's just diverculate into that. That's probably another word. Divert the conversation. Is to make sure. I have a student now and I'm teaching him about color, and my advice to her was to, the same as my advice to you, basically a 5-color palette to start, which would be cadmium yellow, cadmium red, ultramarine blue, or phthalo blue, or cobalt if you want to spend the money, and black and white. And for a palette like that, you would mix your secondaries, which would give you an orange, a green, and a kind of a nasty purple. That's one reason why I sort of said, if you know you're going to be getting into purples a lot, which isn't, you can get away without it in a landscape. A lot of landscapes, I get into deoazine purple, which is a true purple, like a crayon purple. Because the purple you get mixing ultramarine blue and cad red, it's almost more brown than purple, Anyway, I'm digressing from my digression. But anyway, from there you can make colors that are common to landscape painting, like real easy to make, say yellow ochre, even though you're starting with cad, you would use little small amounts of each because you only have 3 colors. So this gives you built-in harmony. All your colors are going to be harmonious automatically, guarantee it. You're going to work harder, but you're also going to learn about the nature of color and mixing color. And then one day you say, gosh, I'm so tired of mixing yellow ochre, I think I'll go buy a tube. And that's what I did. It didn't take me long. Next color I bought was like some burnt sienna, Now I can make that with the cad red, some black, a little blue, and some of that cad yellow, right? I'll make burnt sienna all day and all night, but it's a hassle when I just want to grab some burnt sienna and throw it into a mix. Another color, raw umber. Yeah, I can make raw umber because, a little black, a little red, a little white. You'll be there. Yellow. That's the thing with a minimal 3-color palette. You're going to have those 3 colors in every color you do, and that's the thing. You really learn how little bits of color will change things up. So I don't know why I'm talking so much about minimal palettes, because this wasn't done with a minimal palette. It's done with my usual palette, but definitely in a restricted way. So the green I used here would have been, I would have started with the Mike's green, which is acrylite yellow, mixed with black as my base green, but I was, and the green's very subtle here. It's like in the grass area, and it's in the shadow side of the tree is a dark green, but I put a lot of phthalo in it, and I put a lot of alizarin crimson in it. Alizarin crimson, by the way, would be a great color to substitute out in that minimal palette. Instead of cad red, you could do alizarin crimson, and you get a color very much like burnt sienna with alizarin crimson and yellow and a little tiny bit of black. All day, In fact, alizarin crimson could be more useful. It's hard to say because alizarin crimson doesn't have a lot of tinting strength, so I'd rather it's very transparent. So in a minimal palette situation, if I had to choose, for most of my painting career, I would have chose alizarin crimson. But these days, I'd be into that cad red, because I can make the cad red do a lot of different things. It's got a lot stronger tinting strength, and that means a lot. It means a lot. Okay, so we did the sky first, as is our way. I quite liked the way the sky came out, and it wasn't the sky that was in the original reference. That sky was boring, and I don't like painting boring skies. Maybe you do. Some painters do. some painters really make a nice project out of painting, you know, a gradiated sky. And back in the day, before Photoshop, that would, take. I know how to do it. I don't care about it. I want a sky that has some pop, some pow, some wow. Now, one of the challenges and places I had to deviate from the reference, see that little mountainous or hilly ridge I painted in was much cooler. And because it was abutted against the warm yellow white, I had to warm it up. That's just, it would have been too harsh otherwise. It doesn't look bad in the photo reference, but photos are not paintings. Oh, that's one thing. We're almost done with this picture. I was just watching a great video, and he was talking about learning things, and he was talking about two concepts. I think the word is Japanese. It's Senpai and Kohai. A Senpai is a master, and a Kohai is a student, right? And he was talking about how the master, it gets hard for the master to be teaching a lot of remedial stuff. And so I don't. I mean, not that I'm calling myself a master, but I've been doing this a while. I have mastery of quite a lot of aspects of landscape painting. I'm not being egotistical to say that. I am not, the greatest that ever lived, but I've got my skills and I have some mastery. And that's one of the reasons why I do get into like some basic stuff, but I think there's a lot of hunger out there by people just starting out with painting. And what I would say to you there is like, make a note of my channel and maybe come back when you have some paintings under your belt, because this channel is a bit frustrating for people that are looking for just the basic information. Every now, actually, there is some in the members area where I give the kind of basic lessons that I would do, say, for a student. Like I gave my student out here the other day, I taught her complementary color theory, and of course we covered making secondaries from primaries and things like that, kind of like I just did for you. But you're just going to get your fingers, you're going to get some introduction to that kind of thing here. You should seek a teacher that will walk you through that stuff, or better yet, there's tons of videos, but just pick up a book. You know who's good? Kevin McPherson's good for people starting out. Also, Bob Rome wrote a book called The Painterly Approach. Still in print, as far as I know. Go get it. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I just thought it was an interesting concept, and I do think about that all the time. And the channel is basically not that anyone's hassled me for a while, so I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of just chatting with you here. The channel is really designed for intermediate, trying to get to some mastery of their own. That's where I've always been strongest as a teacher. And one of the reasons, like the student I have, she's just starting out the color, but she's quite accomplished with her drawing, so she's definitely an intermediate. In fact, she's selling her work, so that's when you're intermediate and you're on your way. You're selling things, you're getting better, you're starting to see like what's wrong with your old work. Hey, it's about time in the video where I tell you that the only way you're going to get there is by doing a lot of work. You should be doing a painting every day. If you're not, oh, I'm working on my big masterpiece, it's 30 by 40 inches and I've been working on it for 2 years. It's like, well, you're not going to get very good with that approach. I mean, maybe it's going to be a good painting. I don't know. Maybe. The way to get good is to do lots of little paintings. And don't just do little paintings. Otherwise, what will happen to me happen to you, and you'll get into a little bit of a trap there, where you'll have a period of like discomfort scaling up. But I have no problem scaling up these days. I still prefer working small, though. I have a small house, small studio. It's just easier for me to store small paintings and do small paintings. And I like them. So there you go. Anyway, I can see we're getting close to the end. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. I've got some very cool master studies coming up. So we've been throwing a lot of those at you lately. And I know you've been enjoying them. The numbers don't lie. So look forward to more. This will be for sale in my store. Price on this $199. $199 American. Okay, and that includes the shipping and stuff. So good deal on painting. I was a little higher on these, but these days I'm trying to get paintings into people's hands. The gallery thing, you know, the COVID has hit that. So, well, I know that'll come back. But meanwhile, let's support this artist. Go buy this painting or buy another one there. Anyway, till I come back with another video, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your loved ones, stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.